This video contains a truth that has changed the lives of many people. If you are having health problems and have ever felt stuck, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment in the comment section so we can share useful knowledge together. Have you ever felt your heart race at the thought of talking to someone you're into? Not just about your feelings, but about protection, boundaries, and safety? You're not alone. For a lot of people, young adults, seasoned daters, and everyone in between, talking about safe sex can feel more intimidating than the act itself. But here's the truth. Your body deserves respect. Your health deserves protection. And your voice deserves to be heard loud and clear. Let's be real for a second. In a world that's constantly telling us to swipe right, keep it casual, or just go with the flow, the idea of pausing to talk about condoms, STI testing, or birth control can feel awkward, maybe even a little unsexy. But you know what is sexy? Confidence, self-respect, and knowing exactly what you need to feel safe and in control of your own body. So today, we're diving deep into a topic that doesn't get enough love: how to confidently talk about safe sex with any partner without shame, fear, or second-guessing yourself. If you've ever worried about how to bring it up, what words to use, or how to handle rejection or pushback, you're in the right place. This video is for you, and I want you to do one thing for yourself right now. Think about any sexual health concern you've had recently. Maybe it's a question about STIs, maybe it's birth control, maybe it's something you've been too embarrassed to ask anyone about. Write it down in the comments. You don't have to share personal details, but putting it out there is the first step in taking your power back. I read every comment, and I'll do my best to respond with guidance, encouragement, and clarity without judgment. Okay, let's jump in. Step 1 is simple in theory, but it's often the hardest. Get clear on your own boundaries before you even enter the conversation. You can't express what you want if you don't know what you want. Ask yourself, what does safe sex mean to me? Is it always using condoms? Is it knowing a partner's STI status before anything physical happens? Is it waiting until trust has been built? There's no right or wrong here, just what's right for you. And listen, you are allowed to want what you want. If someone tries to make you feel guilty for setting a boundary, that's not someone who's prioritizing your well-being. One of the best things you can do for your sexual health is to own your standards without apology. You don't have to explain why you want protection or justify your choices. Just like you wouldn't let someone walk into your house with muddy shoes, you don't have to let anyone into your body without respect for the rules you set. Now let's talk about when and how to bring it up, because timing matters. Waiting until things are already hot and heavy can make it harder to speak up and easier to get swept up in the moment. If you can, start the conversation before you're in the bedroom. It might feel awkward at first, but it takes way more courage to talk when the pressure's off than to wait until the clothes are halfway gone. You might say something as simple as, "Hey, before we go any further, I want to talk about protection and what's important to me." Or, "I really like where this is going, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page about staying safe." You don't need a perfect script, you just need to speak honestly. And if the person you're talking to looks uncomfortable or dismissive, that's not your problem to fix. Their reaction doesn't change the value of your boundaries. The right partner will appreciate your openness and maturity, and if they don't, they're not ready to meet you at the level you deserve. Here's the thing: communication doesn't kill the vibe. Uncertainty kills the vibe. When the people are honest about what they want and how to keep each other safe, it builds trust, it builds respect, and that creates a connection that's way more powerful than just going through the motions. Step 2 is understanding that safe sex is a shared responsibility. It's not just up to one person to bring the condoms, ask about STI testing, or initiate the conversation. You both have skin in the game, literally and figuratively. So if someone says, "I thought you were on the pill," or "I don't like how condoms feel," that's a chance to step into your power and say, "My safety isn't negotiable." Let's get one thing clear. Using protection is not a favor to your partner, it's a mutual decision that protects both of you. You're not being difficult or extra careful by insisting on it. You're being smart. You're taking charge of your health. And trust me, confidence like that leaves a lasting impression. Sometimes, people think that talking about STIs or birth control means you don't trust your partner, but the truth is, it's the opposite. When you're honest about your health and you invite your partner to do the same, you're creating a space where both of you can feel safe and respected. That's the foundation for great intimacy, not something that ruins it. I want to give you a real example, something I've seen in my medical practice over and over. A woman in her early 30s came in recently, visibly upset. She told me she had trusted a partner who said he was clean, only to find out later that he hadn't been tested in years. She said, "I just didn't want to make things awkward by asking too many questions." And I told her what I'm telling you now. Your health is worth more than someone else's temporary discomfort. So the next time you feel a little nervous bringing up protection, testing, or your personal limits, remember this: if someone truly cares about you, they will never make you feel bad for looking out for yourself. And if they do, that's your answer right there. Now that we've covered how to define your boundaries and take shared responsibility, we can build on that momentum. Because when it comes to safe sex, confidence isn't just about what you say, it's also about how you respond. When the conversation doesn't go exactly as planned, let's keep going. So now that we've started building that foundation of awareness and inner clarity, let's talk about something that trips a lot of people up: how to actually bring it up. I know, even saying the words "can we talk about protection" can feel like standing on a stage with a spotlight blinding your face. Your heart races, your mouth gets dry, and suddenly your mind starts spinning with what if they freak out? What if I ruin the moment? What if they think I'm accusing them of something? Take a deep breath with me, because you're not alone. We've all been there. That anxiety, that hesitation, that tiny voice telling you to just stay quiet to keep things comfortable. But your comfort matters too, and so does your safety. Here's the truth: confidence doesn't mean you're not nervous. It means you speak anyway, because you know you deserve honesty, safety, and respect. The way to get more comfortable with these conversations is not to wait until you magically stop feeling awkward. It's to walk through the awkwardness and realize it doesn't define you. Start simple. You don't have to launch into a long speech. Just one calm, clear sentence can open the door. Something like, "Hey, before we get closer, I'd love for us to talk about how we're keeping each other safe." Notice how that doesn't accuse, doesn't assume, doesn't demand. It invites. It respects both people. It sets the tone that this is a shared responsibility, not a confrontation. And if the other person seems surprised or hesitant, that's okay. You're not responsible for their emotional reaction, you're responsible for your truth. A respectful partner will pause, listen, and engage. A partner who shuts down, makes fun of you, or dismisses the topic, that's not someone who's prioritizing you. And sometimes, that moment of clarity, painful as it might be, is a gift in disguise. Think of this conversation as an extension of your boundaries, not a disruption to intimacy. You're not blocking connection, you're deepening it. You're saying, "I care enough about us to want to do this right." And let's be real: if someone can't talk about safe sex like an adult, they probably shouldn't be having sex in the first place. It can also help to rehearse a few phrases ahead of time, not to sound robotic, but so you're not scrambling in the heat of the moment. Practice in the mirror. Say it to yourself in the car. Try things like, "I always use condoms. That's important to me." Or, "I'd like to know your STI testing history. Here's mine." When your mouth knows the words, your heart has more space to stay calm. And while we're on the topic, testing isn't just about preventing STIs. It's about trust, transparency, and the ability to look someone in the eye and say, "I've got you, and I want to do this right." When we treat testing as normal, adult, and expected, we raise the bar for what healthy looks like. And honestly, that's sexy. Now let's go a little deeper. Safe sex isn't just about condoms and conversations. It's also about emotional safety, feeling like your boundaries are honored, your voice is heard, and your no is always respected without pressure or persuasion. This is where real power lives. Being able to say, "Not yet," or "I'm not comfortable with that," or even, "I changed my mind," is part of your right to choose at any time, for any reason, without apology. And anyone who truly values you will respond with care, not guilt trips. Sometimes we internalize this idea that being sexually open or adventurous means never saying no, never having boundaries, never needing reassurance. But that's a lie. Real confidence isn't about performance, it's about choice. You get to choose how far you go, how fast, and with whom. You get to be fully yourself, awkward, honest, brave, and all. And if you've ever been through a situation where that choice was taken from you, whether through pressure, manipulation, or worse, please know that wasn't your fault. You didn't invite it, deserve it, or cause it. Your healing matters, and your voice still deserves to be heard. Safe sex means healing, too. It means creating a space where you feel empowered, not ashamed, where you can say, "This is what I need to feel okay," and be met with care, not criticism. Let's also talk about body confidence for a moment, because that ties into safe sex more than most people realize. Feeling self-conscious about your body can make it harder to speak up, to ask for what you want, or to walk away when something doesn't feel right. But hear me out, you don't need to look a certain way to be worthy of respect. You don't need to have a certain body type to have standards. Your body, right now, in this very moment, deserves kindness and protection. The more you learn to treat your own body like it matters, the easier it becomes to demand that others do the same. That means listening to your gut. If something feels off, pause. If you're rushing to please someone else while ignoring your own discomfort, stop. Your body speaks in whispers, a tight chest, a nervous flutter, a quiet hesitation. Listen to it. Trust it. Honor it. And here's something people don't say enough. You're allowed to change your mind, even mid-moment, even if you were into it 5 minutes ago. Your yes is only a yes as long as it feels true. And that means your partner's job is to pay attention, to check in, to respect the shifts, not to push through them. This isn't about making things awkward, it's about making things real. Imagine a world where intimacy started with "How are you feeling? And is this okay?" Imagine how much safer, closer, and more beautiful that could be. All right, now that we've laid the groundwork for healthy communication and emotional safety, it's time to bring it all home with the final key to confidently discussing safe sex, making it a habit, not a what-I'm talk. Safe sex should never feel like an isolated conversation. It should be woven into the fabric of your relationships, a recurring check-in that feels as normal as asking about someone's day or making plans for the weekend. This isn't something you drop once and hope it sticks. It's a conversation that grows and evolves, just like the trust and respect between you and your partner. It's about creating an atmosphere where your safety, health, and happiness are continuously valued. Just as you'd check in about your emotional well-being, your physical health should always be part of the discussion. And the more you normalize it, the more comfortable you'll be each time it comes up. Think about it this way. The first time you talk about safe sex, it might feel like a big deal, awkward, tense, even uncomfortable. But once it becomes a regular part of your relationship, it's not a big talk, it's just another way you show you care. Imagine casually saying, "Hey, I got tested last month. How about you?" Or "I just want to make sure we're both on the same page about protection. Cool?" These small check-ins aren't about policing each other, they're about honoring each other's health, safety, and peace of mind. And when that becomes the culture in your relationships, you'll feel empowered every time you speak up, knowing it's part of creating something healthy and meaningful. Now, while we're on the topic of healthy habits, let's address a critical piece of the puzzle. What happens when your partner doesn't meet you halfway? This can be one of the hardest moments, but it's also one of the most important. If you're being met with resistance, hostility, or dismissal when trying to discuss safe sex, whether it's about using condoms, sharing testing histories, or respecting boundaries, that is a huge red flag. Your health, well-being, and personal comfort should never be negotiable. If someone can't respect your right to have a conversation about your needs and safety, that's not a partner who values you. And trust me, the sooner you recognize that, the sooner you can move forward and create space for relationships that truly honor you. I know it's hard, especially when you want to avoid conflict or maintain the connection. But staying quiet, avoiding difficult conversations, or giving in to pressure will only lead to resentment and fear down the road. And your self-worth? It's priceless. Never compromise it. On the flip side, when your partner is on the same page, when they listen, respect, and communicate openly, that's the gold standard. And when you speak your truth with confidence, it encourages them to do the same. Mutual respect starts with you, but it spreads to everyone you interact with. Speaking of boundaries, there's another important layer to this conversation that gets overlooked. Respecting boundaries even outside the bedroom. Healthy relationships, whether romantic, sexual, or even platonic, are built on a foundation of mutual respect. This means respecting not only when your partner says no, but also when they express discomfort, hesitation, or uncertainty at any point in the relationship. Boundaries go both ways. It's not just about your needs, it's about theirs too. So, ask questions, listen closely, and make sure the space you're creating together is one where both of you feel comfortable, safe, and empowered to express your true selves. It's all about giving each other the room to breathe and to be, without fear of judgment or pressure. And finally, the last step in confidently discussing safe sex is something that's honestly the easiest, but the most powerful: being unapologetically yourself. When you stop apologizing for your boundaries, your health, your preferences, and your standards, you take control of the conversation. You're not asking for permission, you're stating what's important to you. You're showing the world that your body, your choices, and your voice deserve to be heard, without shame. So, here's the truth: talking about safe sex isn't just about avoiding risks. It's about taking ownership of your life, your body, and your relationships. It's about creating a culture where both you and your partner feel empowered to express your needs without fear or guilt. It's about saying, "I'm worthy of respect, and I deserve to feel safe and comfortable in every part of my life." And don't forget this key point: your journey doesn't stop after one conversation. Safe sex is a continuous practice. It's part of how you maintain a healthy relationship with yourself and with others. Every time you speak up, you reaffirm that your health, happiness, and safety matter. And that's a message that will resonate far beyond the bedroom. I know it's not always easy, but remember, every conversation you have is a victory. Every time you honor your needs and assert your boundaries, you're growing, you're building, and you're teaching the world that your body, your rules isn't just a slogan, it's a way of life. So, as we wrap this up, I want you to take a moment to appreciate how far you've come just by thinking through these steps. Safe sex is about more than protection, it's about empowerment, respect, and creating the kind of relationships that honor your worth. And you are absolutely worthy of that kind of respect, love, and care. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it and share it with anyone you think could benefit. Drop your thoughts and questions in the comments. I'd love to hear about your experiences or anything you're still curious about. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to get more tips on living your healthiest, most confident life. Here's to embracing your body, your choices, and your voice, and creating the relationships you deserve.